Have you ever wondered how to last longer in the recording booth?
Want to know how to make the most of each moment?
Then you might need breathing exercises. There's no reason to be ashamed if your voice is getting fatigued. Even when speaking, your vocal folds come together 101 times a second.
Practicing breathing every day can help improve your vocal quality and keep you working even longer.
If you're just beginning your breathing journey, the best place to start is on the floor. Lie down on your back, bring your knees up to the ceiling, place your feet on the floor, and put both hands on your stomach. Now just breathe. You want to feel your rib cage expand and your stomach go up and down.
If you need some assistance, you can always ask your partner for help. A relaxing massage can loosen up those tired muscles.
Want to hear about more breathing exercises? Please stay tuned to Cold Read the Podcast, featuring Renara Hawke, Road to Eldurrino, PrincessPashley, and Zamoody, a podcast by voice actors for voice actors.
Sit back, relax, and enjoy the show.
All right, I will continue that music then. Thank you so much, Pashley, for that. I know, Walter, you asked for some breathing exercises. Well, there you go. Pashley is delivering right out the door. Is that going to count as your Pash's Corner? Or
It could, but
Pashley's
I, you know.
Okay.
Pashley's case.
We'll talk about it here in a second. So welcome, everybody. Welcome to Cold Read the Podcast for voice actors by voice actors. Being recorded live right now, or you're watching this on YouTube or anywhere that you can find any podcasts. Thank you. Chat is always welcome to ask any questions. We have an active group today, so that's really cool. Thank you so much, everybody. But as always, we're gonna go ahead and just dive right in while the music is still going. We're gonna check in with everybody as we always do. So checking in with the other side of the world. Renara, how are you?
I nearly wasn't here this week.
Yeah.
Please reiterate the tales you were telling us prior to stream.
Oh God. Okay, so this week. Okay, without going into too much interesting detail, I had 2 incidences at work that I had to report on because it was like of genuine safety, like security stuff, and it was scary because threat directly to me as well. So yay, that was fun to deal with. And then I have, long story short, 2 steps forward, 1 step back with a lot of things currently. I'm in quite a few different projects at the moment, and it just seems that it's like I'll do one thing and then I'll get hit by 2 other things that need to do, and then it just sort of builds up, and it's like slowly but surely I'm feeling burnt out right now. Yeah. But so I then just had like a relax. Grimm had to help me with a few things, and then I felt guilty for not being here, so then I went, right, my relaxing is to be here. So I'm a bit of a hot mess right now. So I'm here to help and be present, and yes, I am here.
Well, Ren,
be present and accounted for.
Yeah, I'm happy that you're here. I hope you have a good time. I'm glad to see you laughing, so that's always important.
Yeah.
Yes.
Like it's hard. It's like if I don't laugh, I'll cry.
Say it again, Torino.
I was gonna say I'm sure the laughter is just meant to cover the pain, but at least it's laughter.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for being here, Renara, and welcome. Princess Pashley, how are you doing today?
I'm a little bit sleepy. It's been quite a week of a lot of different hats, but we got through it. And there was we had the biggest fundraiser that I've been a part of this year for my job, and there was a lot of graphics creation. There was a lot of discussion about newsletter and how it works, and I had to kind of finagle my boss into going my way with it, and I was successful with it, so I was proud of myself for that.
Nice.
I also had to rig up a MacBook Pro for teaching a class, so I had to attach a camera, a mixer, a piano, and an extra monitor to all USB-C ports. So that was a fucking project, and but we did it. There was a lot going on, and so yeah, I guess I could say I'm pushing the edge of like screaming right now a little bit. But
And I know
I
you
feel
were.
you.
Seems like one of
always
those
happy
weeks.
to be here. I'm having one of those weeks. Yeah, no, it was busy. Well, the other problem was that we're a staff of like 5 to 6 people, and then the person who probably didn't need to take the week off took the week off. And honestly, everybody's life would have been easier if she had just sucked it up and sub for the classes that I had to sub for. You know.
Wow.
Yeah.
Anyway, here we are though. Here we are.
Yep.
Well,
Trudge on. Be
welcome,
professional.
welcome. I loved your
Glad
intro.
to have you.
Yeah, we're glad to have you. Your intro's great. It's always nice to have something to work behind. I know you were a little nervous following up Renara's epic tale with Matman over there. The bar is still like passing Mars, going towards the.
No, I think it's usually just like I like, you know, I know where my lane is, and it's in these bit sarcastic comedies, and
Yeah,
so
I love them. I love
Anyway.
them. Keep them coming. Thank you
you.
so much.
Yeah.
Dorino, how are you doing?
I am doing pretty swell. This week did not turn out the way I was expecting, but I mean, when does it ever? So the idea going into this week was to start cranking out more auditions. Didn't happen. Mostly just because the room that I'm in right now is where I record, and my girlfriend has been working on her finals all week, and so she's been needing to use her own computer to do so and whatnot. So I've just mostly been here to give her support and keep her on, or keep her encouraged and whatnot.
always ask your
but
partner
then-
for support.
True. Yes. And I appreciate FSO's comment in chat about what partner.
Yeah, I was about to say. Well, we know FSO's got a dog, so maybe you put the dog on the stomach. I don't know if that would work.
There you go. But come Saturday morning, I woke up and I saw that I had a friend request on Discord from someone that I don't share any servers with. And I was like, that's kind of weird. But then I thought to myself, I do give out my Discord as far as like direct communication for when I put out auditions. And so the guy who added me said, hey, it's been a couple months. Are you still interested in doing this project for us? And I was like, sure. I looked back at it and I made sure I could still do voice, which the voice is mostly my speaking voice, just a bit raspier. But yeah, so another pay position locked into place, which is great. But what
number 2.
really kind of like, yep, number 2. Well, number 2 plus maybe a third. Because as we were talking, he was like, I honestly believe that this character is beneath you, but I do have another project that I'm working on that is also paid that I would like for you to audition for and try to do multiple characters, because I'm trying to keep the cast relatively small to avoid drama. So here's the characters I would like you to audition for. Give them a shot, and we'll see where we can go.
Nice.
So sounds like that he wants to include me in on that too, which is I'm very grateful for, super excited for. I started recording this morning, and I got about an hour in. So I got maybe like a third of the material done, and then my neighbors started up their lawnmower. So
Oh yeah, fun.
had to cut that short, no pun intended. And then I was off the cuff. I don't plan these things. Yeah, so that's basically all I've been able to get done this week, but I am excited to jump back into it later on tonight.
Very cool. Well, good to have you. I saw Renara was making faces at you as you were talking about, so I'm sure Renara is also super excited about the character being beneath you, apparently.
No, it was more like I've never heard of a director say that. So I was like, part of me probably didn't understand that immediately, but I was like, huh?
Meaning that like the character like is a very maybe simple character. Like you could lend your performance to
in other words,
harder
you're way
or more
too good for
difficult characters. In a sense, yeah.
Okay.
Which I mean, that's fine. I don't really consider any role beneath me necessarily, just because I'm obviously not a professional or anything like
Right.
that. So, but to hear that from someone that I just met basically gave me a big confidence boost.
Yeah.
And lets me know
Yeah.
that I'm capable of more than what they are looking for.
Well, very cool. We have a guest host today, as you heard from Renara's intro, so let's check in with Grimm. Grimm, welcome back.
Hello.
How has your week been, sir?
My week has mainly kind of just been an assistant role with Renara's week.
Nice.
I've just been trying to help out wherever possible because I had my week was relatively free. COVID allowing, I essentially just help some family members in need, which is what I do with most of my week. But any days I had spare, I helped out with Renara. So unfortunately, my week wasn't particularly noteworthy, but a lot of essentially the same stress of trying to help Renara with her projects and sort everything out.
Gotcha. Well, I'm sure Renara appreciates it. Not to speak for
I
Renara.
do. So much.
Well, we're happy to have you, Grimm. Always fun. For those of you that don't know,
Yeah.
Grimm is more of a has dabbled a little bit. You can see his casting call up there. So if you're looking for a nice deep, you do British and you do what other accent do you do?
Nondescript
Irish, right?
Irish, Celtic, that kind of thing.
Gotcha.
Because that's where I was born.
And Dwarven. Sorry.
Oh yeah, and if you just want kind of a general dwarf character, I am more than happy to go in on that all the way because I am obsessed with dwarves.
Nice.
Real quick on my side, so finished up my dubbing projects all set. I'm waiting for the Tethras. I re-recorded some characters for that visual novel video game for Evansoft. What else did we do? I did the impression again, so apparently the people that hired me for voices.com to do an impression of a YouTuber needed a couple more lines. They paid me again, gave me another review. So I got now 3 5-star reviews over at voices.com. And you guys all read that I had a little issue with Fiverr.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
I will get into that if we have time at the end. There's a couple things that we want to do. So that's pretty much been my week. We do have a guest today, and I'm super excited to have. I have Pielord here. Hello, Pielord.
Hello, Pie.
There we go.
Hello.
Hey,
Hi.
welcome aboard. Well, first off, let me ask you, how was your week? Let's get to know you that way. How was your week?
Well, my week was pretty snazzy. It was really busy, but it was a lot of fun stuff I was doing, hanging out with my family, doing whatever, put in 20 auditions, casting call club,
Very cool.
I've been in that grind. Well, very cool.
But busy but fun. So
Well, cool. Well, let's get right into it, Pielord. So let's get to know you. How long have you been actually doing the voice acting?
doing the voice acting, I guess for the past year I've been more into it, but it's gone on since I was in I would say 5th grade. I've been wanting to do it and just on and off. And it wasn't until recently that I actually started trying to go full force into it,
Nice.
Sure.
So I know a lot of us here, well, 3 of us that are here are old Twitch singers, so we have equipment already. What equipment did you start off with when you first started doing your first auditions?
Oh, well, you know those earbuds that you get with your phone,
With the little thing that you got to hold up and you're talking into it.
Yeah. Hey guys, I'm sorry if my microphone's exploding. I mean, it works.
Yeah.
If it works, it works.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So where did you mostly go when you first started?
When I first started, it was mainly I just went around in my friend group and I voice acted for my friends. Sometimes I would go online, be like, hey, I like voices. Anybody want to make a funny meme voice? Sure
Nice.
do, buddy. And then that thing.
Very similar to Eldurrino up here. On board.
Yep.
Yeah. Very cool. So you ended up over in Casting Call Club.
Yeah, I ended up going there because somebody ended up recommending it to me. And I haven't really had much luck. Whatever I did get, I only got to do 2 things so far because all the rest I got cast, but then they actually
Derailed.
didn't direct. They just ceased to exist.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Was this
Which is
the
actually-
project that we were part of? Well,
Yeah.
I say we were a part of.
Yeah.
You are more qualified to talk about that than I am, Pi.
I was actually, yeah, that is a huge point. That where I met Renara was in one of those derailed
Yeah.
little things. I do believe it was a Halo one,
Yeah.
and the guy, he was such a sweet guy, but he had no idea what he was doing.
I was
And-
the loud voice going, "Hey, what's going on?" And
And then
Yeah.
I was just sitting here in the background. I was just a normal voice actor that was for small parts, mind you. I didn't have a main part. He said, "Hey, I like you, but not that much."
Okay.
Ah.
Directly. That'd be awful.
And and I was playing mini director. Like everybody was asking me questions, and I'm like,
Yeah.
I don't know what's happening. I don't own this.
You were
But,
like you were first assistant basically, because we were all asking you like, what is happening, what is going on here, because we were getting nothing from the guy.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
He was just never on. Like, was it like once a month or not even that for a
was like-
while?
It was like once a month he would text you guys, and the rest I would have to like go DM him, get a response 3 days later, and be like, "Hey guys."
Yeah.
Oh,
No,
wow.
I've kind of been through the same thing where I got cast. Well, my first role that I got cast for was a role for Batman, and I was super stoked about it, and I delivered my lines almost immediately, and then I never heard from the guy, and then all of a sudden, like a month later, he has a new project that he wants to do, and then a few weeks later after that, there was another project, and then like I think a month and a half ago or so, or not even that, a month ago, he emailed me and said, "Hey, I have a new project up. I would love for you to audition." I was like,
No.
which sucks because it was a Spider-Man based project, or like Miles
Oh.
Morales based,
Mhm.
and Carnage was the main villain. And I was like, I out of the entire Spider-Man series, Carnage is my absolute favorite villain, and I wanted to do it, but he casted it almost immediately, and I was like, well, I'm probably not going to do it. So good luck, bye.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I know how that goes, where you put your audition in, and then you expect things to start moving forward, and then you just hear absolutely nothing from the creator, which unfortunately does kind of happen because people do have their own real life things to deal with and
Right.
whatnot. So
Or they bit off more they can chew, and that's unfortunately.
Yeah.
I mean, that's Casting Call Club itself. So it's it's still nice. It's nice because you basically have like unlimited audition scripts. But yeah, you have to deal with that.
right. Well,
So-
that, and
Yeah, go ahead.
it's also really good practice just to get in the habit of submitting auditions. That way you can work on your voice, work on your editing skills, etc.
Right. Which will all ultimately be very
yeah.
important.
It builds a portfolio as well. So it's because I've updated mine recently of things that I'm currently in the process of doing and things that I have already done, and you can just build that up and have it there, and like you would a CV sort of thing. So even if you don't like have it, like get it, you've still got lots of material to make your show reel with. So there's that as well.
Weren't you? Somebody here was going to get an IMDb credit? Am I wrong? Yay!
Yeah, by the end of this year. Well, I yeah, sort of thing. So yay.
Yay! So Pielord, so you've got the Casting Call Club. You see, you've gotten a couple of things, right?
Yeah.
And then you go ahead.
Yeah, some of them, like there's this one, when I was first joining, I did everything. Somebody, I was so eager to get in that even if it wasn't a voice part, I went in for audio engineering for this one comic dub.
Oh wow!
Yeah.
So that was
Brave.
an experience.
That is very brave. Yes. So yeah, you would have to deal with all the audio that's coming in, and
Yeah, I did make some friends off of that though. I still have one guy I talked to from that project. He was really fun.
and we've
It's
talked about
networking.
we've talked about the networking and how much that can help, especially with somebody who's starting out. I've recommended Eldurrino for a job. Renara just got together with somebody else who's another job.
Yep.
So yeah, and I hear
Me.
And then
yeah.
I recommended Pashley to him for
oh yay, really?
Nice.
because he was looking for someone to do a French and German accents. I was like, Pashley sings like in those languages. Maybe she might
Shit,
be
why
good
did I
at this.
think of you,
I told him
Passion?
I'd give it my best shot.
So I was like, hey, I know another person and everything.
Nice.
They didn't ask for Irish, so sorry, Grimm.
Yeah,
Just
I see how it is.
Well, you tell the story about the audio engineering and getting in somewhere, and you know the soundtrack for Top Gun.
Mhm.
And, you guys know Kenny Loggins is like a fixture of that soundtrack, but he was not even considered for that title song. You know how he got in was for the playing with the boys, because he saw that nobody would want to make a song for that scene because of whatever.
Yeah.
So he got in for that song, and then they're like, "We love you, sing this song." So that's kind of how it works. You get your in somewhere.
Sure.
Yep.
Yeah.
Exactly.
That's a funny story. I'm like, oh, there you go.
Yeah.
And this is why we've talked about if you're working on a project, don't focus on just the director, focus on everybody, because sometimes the audio engineer can recommend you, another voice actor. Be nice to everybody as you're going through these things. So Pielord,
Everything you learned about life, you learned in kindergarten.
So if the role ever comes up to compose a song about a bunch of dudes playing volleyball with their shirts off, take that shit.
Yeah, because you never,
go for it.
100%. Yeah. No. So we know we had you in the intro last week, Pielord. Was that one of the more bigger projects because it was a huge project?
That was literally the largest project that I've ever touched with my own very fingertips.
What did I do?
I went.
Right to the
I
sharks,
went.
Renara.
I saw all the one paragraph of lines I had, and I went, oh, "I'm special."
There you go.
Well, it was like I've got so many people interested in this. I gotta give everyone like time. Like, Matt, help me.
And yeah, big thank you to Matt Mann, who we've had on here a couple of times.
Already got draft one of the third one, like draft one of the script done.
Ooh, definitely
Gonna
looking
add
forward to
some
that.
Sorry,
No.
I feel like I can have it. Right.
I mean, we're all looking forward to what because there's going to be a conclusion to this epic story. It's going to be 3 weeks now, I think. I think Eldurrino's up next for the intro, and then I'm next, and then we're gonna hopefully, if you all have everything set up by that point, get that all going. So Pyle, how was that for you? Because okay, so you're in this big project now with Renara. Well, let me ask you this first: what kind of setup do you have at home?
Well, see, now here the thing is, originally I came in here and I was thinking I was going to be using my setup, but recently I found this. I have this nice little place down in my like little town city thing, and they're like this technology sort of club. They teach people how to use tech, and they have a little voice acting booth down there.
Ooh.
And so they're like, "Hey, man, listen, you want to learn how to make this your career? You can use this." And I'm like, "Oh." So
Wow.
I don't.
Nice.
I think they have a Roadster. I believe they said it was
The mic.
Yeah.
Mm.
So that's what I've been using for that. But otherwise, I've been using my like little Blue Yeti stereo over here from it's like a USB one from my old school that I used to go to. So
Is that what you're using right now?
yeah.
Sounds fine, honestly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
You have a sock or anything on there?
No. The biggest problem I have with it is when say I'm on Discord like we are now and whatever, it's completely fine. But say I try to record on Audacity, you just hear this loud bzz the whole time.
Yeah.
Vocal
it's
gate.
Yeah. Well, I mean, you can use a vocal gate, but with those type of microphones, they're meant to pick up a room, and it's a dynamic mic as opposed to a condenser mic, which kind of focuses on right in front of the microphone. So yeah, you're gonna get a lot of background noise during that, or using that rather. Unfortunately, there's not really any good way around it unless you have like an interface. Unless Pashley knows the secret to it that I don't.
I know usually.
No, or just being in a closet or in a
Yeah, you can do
closet
that too.
for sure, but make sure there's clothes in it, because if it's not, you get echoes.
Right.
Yeah.
I was gonna say I did all
cover
that.
yourself with a blanket or something.
I did all that work getting those adapters to USB-C, and then I'm, as frustrated as I was doing that, I'm like, wait a minute. And I also have like an extra baby mixer. I'm like, I could just throw the condenser in that closet, and just have it there. So I might try that. I don't know. But anyway, silver linings. No work is wasted.
Indeed.
So you go into your community center and they have a voice acting booth, which is incredible. So you go in there. Did you have anybody like listening to it or giving you pointers, or you just recorded it yourself?
Well, for a little bit there, for like the first day, some guy came down there and was like, "Oh yeah, I'll help give you some pointers." And I started doing it, and he's like, "Well, fair enough. You go do whatever you want." And I'm like, "Okay." All right.
Very
But
nice.
yeah, it's just, and I know it is a little off the rails, but it's not just voice acting there as well. They got voice acting, 3D printing, literally anything technology that you would need to do. And so it's pretty snazzy, not gonna lie.
Yeah,
I bet.
yeah, no kidding. It makes me kind of jealous. I wish I had that kind of stuff.
We got to get it ourselves, man.
Yeah. Please tell us where you live.
Find out where he is. Yeah.
Here's my home address.
Right. Last part of the social, mother's maiden name. Let's get going.
Yep.
Yeah. So you got everything done. You submitted it over to Renara. Renara, did you have to do any retakes or?
No, because he gave me because initially I had a lot of people ask me, what voice do you want? And I'm then going, I would like you to come up with your own like character for it, kind of. So Pi gave me two different accents. One was Deep South, which is the one I used, and then the other one was, I think, just your normal speaking voice. I think.
Well, yeah, the first one I sent 3 different ones. It was like this one.
Mm-hmm.
And then I did one that was like slightly, I guess you could say, quote, quote, more elegant, you know, put more emotion in it. And then the third one was just this.
Yep.
And I was like, I'm going to shove this in there just for the meme, just to see if it'll make her laugh, because she has to do a lot of work. And then she's like, I want that one. All right, thanks, I guess.
And then I will say, like, if you have a pan, actually do it with a real pan next time, because he gave me like because his character was Lord Pumpkin, the supply chain. So because I nicknamed him Pumpkin because I read his Discord name wrong first time. Oh no, your Discord name was Pumpkin Pie when I met you. So
when you met me, it was October, and so I have this thing where for holidays I changed my name to a certain kind of pie.
Yeah.
So it's Pumpkin Pielord during Halloween time, you know.
I then nicknamed him Pumpkin, and then that stuck. So then I was just sort of like, what could I use you for? You are in charge of all the food that comes to Cold Read.
That's cute.
Basically.
And speaking of names, you also mentioned you have a very unique Twitch name.
Oh. Now you see.
Yes.
My Twitter name, you know. So my original Twitter name was a generic YouTuber 45. And so I was like, you know what? I'm gonna go rebrand. I'm gonna become the Lord of Pies, Pielord, right? And so I set that up, and I'm like, all right, cool. I'm me again.
Mm-hmm.
But then I forgot that there's a verification system on Twitter. And so now my full name, which conveniently you didn't put, you didn't put it.
Oh, shoot. I can fix that. It's okay. Hold on. It's a perfect time to bring it up.
Pielord 255-90587. I'm bringing the generic all the way to my
It comes full circle.
I feel like we're trying to call Jenny with that user ID. No, it's 8675309 though, but you're close.
I was gonna say it's like you set up like an Xbox gamer tag, and it's like, hey, we'd like to recommend that you use Matt Plays Games 694202785.
Yeah.
Don't forget the XX at the end of that.
Oh yeah.
Yep.
Oh man.
So I'm curious, have you actually had a completed project? Is this the first time that you actually got to listen to one, or?
I have had a whole entire one completed project.
Oh, okay.
You seem to find everyone that gives up.
And so what it ended up being was it was this little audio drama. It was called Be a Witch. I was supposed to be the super nice like police guy in this world where magic is illegal, but everybody can still technically do it, but it's illegal. I was this cop, And I was, hey guys, you guys shouldn't really do that. You know, that's kind of illegal. I'll have to.
Oh.
Oh gosh.
And then I had my other cop buddy like, if you so much as do one more thing, I'm.
Wow.
And so that was sort of the dynamic we had going on. But that was the one project I do. I don't even know if it's. Oh, is it on YouTube anymore? Okay, hold on. I'm gonna go radio silent as I look this up.
Stall for time.
Machinima stuff that you were doing as well. You've got, because you showed me that you were starting to do some machinima stuff, and you wanted me to help out with that. So
Now you see, that's mine. You know, I don't count my own work, but yeah, I do a little machinima stuff on YouTube. We're trying to start that up again. Our editor actually ceased to exist. So
Has been dropped off the face of the planet type.
he went, hey, so you know that thing you wanted me to do? Yeah, well, I'm not doing it. Oh, okay.
Okay.
professional.
I mean, your
Nice.
own projects do count as projects you're a part of, you know. So don't be
Yeah.
afraid to, throw those
Plug
out
yourself.
and be like, hey, dudes, I work on this stuff. Check me out.
Yeah.
Subscribe and hit the bell.
I remember literally I was I was worried about this podcast because I'm looking up at all you snazzy people, all these voice actors. And I'm like, Grimm, save me, Grimm.
Yeah.
And so I was just talking to him for a good while before I came on here. And I ended up showing him one of my podcasts, and I was like sitting there. I'm like, oh, I hope he likes it, you know. And then all of a sudden, I just hear, and I'm like, yes.
Oh my god.
My
Nice.
wheezing laugh.
So you have a podcast?
Maybe.
Maybe.
Even I
I
didn't
can
know.
neither confirm nor deny.
No.
Are we not going to plug this? Or okay, that's fine.
Plug this stuff, Pie. It's fun. You can do this. Don't do
Plug
me.
yourself.
Don't do what I do.
Yes.
Don't be shy and plug your shit.
Yeah, we're like 20th in Japan and like 25th in Australia, so we got something.
Oh, no.
Plug your shit. It's fine.
Shout out to Japan and Australia, by the way.
How you doing?
That's fine.
You know,
I'm not going to put you on the spot.
I'm gonna send you a whole entire 15-second video. You know, wink wonk.
Yes, please.
It's crazy long. I don't know if you can fit it in.
They managed to fit my 15-minute one, but no, they managed to fit my intro and then part of my Elder Scrolls one. We can
Wait.
stop.
Okay, let me do this. I'll do this live and I'll put it on. So what do you have? Let me see it.
Huzzah.
The audio quality is not too good, you know. But hey, humble beginning.
Oh gosh, it's a YouTube thing. Perfect. Okay, hold on.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Let me just.
While we're waiting on Zamoody to load that up, I have a quick question for you, Pielord.
Yes.
So in your journey so far, what is one thing that you realized you're really good at doing, and then what is one thing that you really feel like you need to work on?
Well, one thing I would think that I'm pretty good at, I guess, would be being really sarcastic for some reason.
That's good.
I like to, you know, either one, I be the generic narrator that buy this now, or I be really sassy. One thing I definitely need to work on, however, is being louder, because my whole life I've been a very quiet person. And so even when I go into the soundproof booth over at where I've been recording, the first couple days I was sitting there like, I'm gonna do something.
Yeah, working on the confidence.
Yeah.
Not only,
that comes with time for sure. I know we've talked about it before, but Renara usually makes a point that when you think you've given 100%, give 10% more. Like, don't ever feel like you're going to have to watch the audio files to make sure you're not peaking. But yeah, if you ever feel like you're too quiet, just yell it out. At least get it out there so that you know what is too loud, and then bring it back down a little bit. So yeah, confidence will definitely help with that as time goes on, of course. But yeah, don't ever be afraid to raise your voice if you ever need to. Zamoody knows how much I raise my voice out of nowhere. So yeah.
Oh yeah, I know. I was
I've
watching
seen those
Zamoody's
peaks.
stream earlier, and I was like, oh, is that who I think it is as people were placing down.
Is that the blacksmith and the wizard and the princess?
So for those of you that are interested, I'm sharing the screen in Discord, so you all should be able to hear it. Let's hear this long 14-second video here. All right,
Nice.
here we go. And of course the sound isn't going, so let's try this again.
And then we all died.
And then we all died. The
And the
end.
screen crashed.
Yeah, that would be great. Yeah, I have to
It's all good.
unmute.
Yeah, Ravenmane in chat does bring up good points. It's always easier to give too much and dial it back than to give too little and then need to give more.
The opposite of
Absolutely
cooking,
true.
I think is what he
Every
said last
acting
time.
teacher I've ever
Exactly.
interfaced with.
Oh yeah, I remember that quote.
Interfaced with?
Giggity. All right, let's try this again.
I
3,
don't want to know what.
2, 1.
Is my bath dog.
Oh. All right. Well, I will have to place you under arrest.
No, I will now proceed to explode.
What do you mean?
Okay.
Nice.
For some reason, that's just my kind of comedy of just the
Uh.
complete out of nowhere, no reason, just
Yeah,
it's gonna explode now.
Yeah.
The stuff my 12-year-old loves, actually.
Oh, yeah.
That it is a crime that it only has now 20 views. So
Ah,
Go on, guys. Go find
Go-
Pielord on YouTube. Do
yeah,
it.
go find Pielord. It is
Do it.
literally Pielord Gaming, and 53 more subs, and you can get your own personalized.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hey,
yeah.
So, I mean, being part of now the Cold Read lore, hopefully you enjoyed it. I'm sure Renara.
I
was-
have many plans.
Oh.
I have many plans for
Rocco.
everyone.
And I did
You
ask
should be concerned.
Yeah, I should be. So I know, and I love the question that you asked, Eldurrino, but following up on that, if you were to be able to talk to yourself a year ago, what advice would you give yourself?
Well, I guess I would just say it doesn't matter, like it don't matter how much like you don't think you're doing well, because eventually you'll get better. Because there were a lot of times that I gave up for like months at a time, and I tried to come back every single time, and well, obviously, as you can see, I did. But I just wish I would have kept going, because maybe even if I just kept going those times, I could have gone even further than I am now. But yeah, I'm not gonna stop here. I'm gonna keep trying, keep going. Like I said,
Definitely.
20 auditions on casting call, got cast into none of them, but we gotta keep going.
Yeah, keep
Yeah.
trying.
Keep going.
Respect the grind.
Absolutely.
Respect.
I mean, I think at one point I think I've done over 300 total auditions on casting call.
Nice.
Yeah, yeah.
The record to beat.
Like sales,
Dude, that's the bar.
Yeah, I'm sorry. How many do you have, Pashley?
No, I'm saying it's just like sales. I haven't had, I know a lot of you guys are more organized and better about it than I am, but all I was trying to say was like, the more you audition, the more more opportunity you have to get cast. So
Organized and Renara don't fit in the same sentence, Ashley. Grimm can attest.
I
that
can
is a
neither
really good
confirm or
point,
deny.
That is a good point though. Like when it comes to voice acting, it's something you really need to be very proactive about. The people who succeed more are the people that are constantly out there. As soon as they get home, they're immediately looking at auditions. They're like, okay, do I have time to fit any in tonight? All right, jump in, start recording, edit, so on and so forth. If you try to take the back seat on that, you might get cast for stuff, but obviously, the more you do it, the more chances you're going to have.
Yeah.
Pi, do you have any questions you'd like to ask us?
Ooh, love
in
it, Renara.
particular
Please have
about
questions.
anything that you want to know, like to help improve?
We need
or
filler,
whatever?
damn it.
All right, let me.
What can we do to help you, and maybe help other people?
By
All
definition.
right, hold on. Let me switch to my interviewer microphone real quick.
Oh gosh.
Okay.
Oh no.
Here we
Here
go.
we go.
Ooh. Dun, dun, diddle-doo-doo.
Yeah, and by that I mean my brain's gonna go blank as I try to think of even a single question. You know how in school, like, I'm part of that generation where the teacher goes, "Does anybody have any questions?" And the whole class goes,
No.
Right.
So
That's not a
they just
generational
stare- they
thing.
just
That's been
stare the
happening since
teacher
I went to
in the
school.
eye. Yeah, it's like, so you have any questions? And you just stare them in the eyes, and it's just silence for a good 10 minutes. And it's like, no, okay, on to the next segment.
Fire and Brimstone says, make like
oh,
the
memories.
Gestapo and ask the questions.
Oh God, fire!
Fire.
Ridiculous.
McMorta also says, as an Ark Survivor Evolved player, I respect that grind. Yes, 100%.
Well, so, Mr. Wizard.
Uh-oh. Shit, what'd you do, Dorino? Or
I don't know. Extreme, let's keep the generic going.
Okay.
Hey, how did you start? What was your inspiration to get zooming?
I've told this story before, and I'll be more than happy to share basically the quick version of it. About 3 years ago, I had a ear infection so bad that it attacked half of my facial muscles, and I had Bell's palsy for 3 months. Literally could not talk out of the left side of my mouth. And it was at that moment that I regretted not doing two things in my life. One was voice acting, and the other one was streaming on Twitch. As those muscles reconnected to everything. And I'll say reconnected because if you notice, if I'm gonna do this right now, and my eye's gonna close, that's not me.
Oh yeah.
That's not. That's because that's how everything wired. That's how I got everything back together. So as soon as I got better, I got into Twitch, and a buddy of mine pointed me towards a program called Twitch Sings. And there I met my ally, who was Shoshipi, another good friend, Deanna the Rainbow Unicorn, and from there I started building this community and started having fun. And then once I had the equipment, I'm like, well, phase 2 starts. So about March of last year, I decided to do actual voice acting, and I just signed up to Backstage, which is somewhere where Eldurrino has been, and we found that there was absolutely nothing on there.
Yeah, it's pretty slim pickings.
Very slim pickings. And then I found Casting Call Club thanks to a Reddit, I think, post on voice actors. And then here I am. I've joined voices.com. I've done video games at this point. I've done a lot of personal projects. I've done some dubbing. It's been a lot. It's been a lot of fun. So if that hadn't happened, I wouldn't be here.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, not to bring the mood down.
No, that's inspirational.
Yeah, exactly.
We all
Like-
have a sort of a story behind how we started up and everything. I think many of us have one of those sorts of stories. I mean,
Yeah, it's things like that make you want to do this. I started acting without too many personal details. I started acting because I felt I've got dyslexia and dyscalculia. So even when I went into secondary school, my actual written ability and my ability to read weren't good.
Mm-hmm.
So I had to learn to express myself. And I felt constricted because everyone would text each other and they would message each other, and I couldn't do that. And acting helped me become more outspoken. It let me engage with my friends more. It actually helped me be more popular because I was definitely not the popular kid. I got bullied, and not entirely undeserved. Some of it was some fair ribbing. There was some fair ribbing. I did kind of paint a target on my back, but then acting helped me remove the shell, helped me talk to people, make friends. Fire is actually a personal friend of mine. We met acting in school. That's how I know Fire.
Nice.
And me and Renara actually met, and how we know each other is she helped me with a project, a very bad project I did, but a project I was making. It was terrible.
I did technically steal his job as well.
Ooh.
Yeah, there's also that. very quick story. A very, very quick story for any of you who know what
Like-
PQA is.
Oh no,
Polling
we
quirk.
should.
Oh, it's fine.
Okay.
Polling quirk is a nationwide huge thing. I worked for I went to a PQA, a Polling Quirk Academy, acting academy for young kids, and I eventually got too old. But I was offered a job. So I left, came back, expected the job, and then discovered that a certain person had taken the job. There was someone
What?
else.
Someone had
So
hired
that's-
the boss had hired me instead.
That's literally how we met.
Yeah.
Oof.
But we became very swift friends, and then she helped me on a project.
And I kept telling him he should do voice acting as well because I was doing Skywind and I'd heard his voice and everything through acting. Because this man has been on the West End stage. I'm going to point that out because you always do that. And it's the sort of thing of like his voice. I was like, you can do stuff, and so it was that whole thing of like the universe somehow aligns itself to this point.
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, very cool.
Honestly, that sounds like a Hallmark movie just come true.
Right?
Yeah.
Next on Lifetime.
Ashley and Brian getting together.
Do we have the time for that story?
We always have time for you, Pashley.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, do you actually want to hear the story, or were you
Yeah.
memeing?
No, let's do it.
Oh, okay.
It's story time.
Share our stories.
Story time in the Princess Castle.
Yeah.
We'll count this as Pashley's castle. Because that was where I was going to go next.
I meant to like record that. My kid's like
Yes,
so
please.
funny. I'll tell a story about him after I tell this story. But like Brian and I met on Twitch Sings, and it was during a very sad time in my life. And I found Twitch Sings also at a very sad time in my life, and it gave me so much emotionally. And there are times where I really, really struggle after the fact, where it's like, we don't have that outlet anymore. We just sit down and sing, right? But he was kind of like, we joke because he was in the little brother zone.
Oh, no.
No.
Oh dear.
No, like we met on Dare to Duet, which was a show on Twitch Sings, ages ago, that was hosted by Felicity. And, he stopped by my stream afterwards and just never really left my side since then. As my friend, even just as my friend, like we're partying all the time. I would tell him everything. He'd tell me everything. And then Daddy Reynolds, another friend of ours, is like, you guys should date. And I'm like, nah, bro, he's like a little brother to me. And so I think we worked on Encore together. We were co-hosts because we were in the same time zone. I don't know if you all remember that. And we were working more closely together. And then, I was 4 hours away, and I was like, oh, I'm going to see my friends. I have friends, near where he lives. And he's like, oh, why don't you come over and stream? And then, just it kind of accelerated. But I tell that story to tell the next story. So the following January or, March, COVID hit, and we had been dating like 3 months, and I was like, oh, just come down here. This will be 2 weeks. This will only be 2 weeks.
We all thought that, by the way.
Only be 2 weeks. And so, because he was in the middle of he was just finishing up his degree, and he got put on hold at his job. And I'm like, yeah, let's come hang out. Could go to school from here. And that 2 weeks turned into 3 months of just 24/7 being around one another and living with one another. And it was very like, you definitely like tight bonds are formed in the foxholes, in the trenches.
Yeah.
So we're basically like long distance to, oh my God.
Pressure cooker.
Yeah.
It can be. It was not pretty at times, but but when he left and he went home to take a breather, it was weird. We were both like, what are we doing? Like, we're not in each other's face all the time. But anyway,
No.
So he's been kind of unofficially living here with us for the past like year or so. So
That is so
Anyway.
cool.
This is so cool.
we met on the internet.
You met on the internet during COVID.
Yeah.
All that was forged. That's insane. That's so cool.
Yeah. Now Brian is a sweetie. Brian!
Yeah. Oh, and the reason he's the town crier, because he asked me that in his recordings. He's like, first of all, let me start off. Why am I the town crier? He's the town crier because of the amount of times you and Brian shout at each other.
Yep.
So I was like, it fits well with that. I was like, let's do that. And also it means I can bring him back for basically, I don't know, it'd be a kind of nice thing to write you, the princess and the town crier. I don't know.
Yeah.
Narratively.
That's like
It's
like
very,
an
very
Aladdin
common.
story waiting to happen.
A little bit.
I like it.
They could
Oh,
they
yeah,
could do it.
no.
It's a very, very common thing in the channel. I'm like, Brian, and then he'll go, yeah, and that's what.
You can see that our Brian impersonation has come along quite well.
Oh yeah, just hey.
Eldurrino, your turn.
Wait, what
Speaking of
story am
meeting
I
on Twitch
telling?
Sing, speaking of meeting on Twitch Sing,
Am I talking about how I got into my relationship or how I started voice
Either or,
acting?
your choice.
Either or.
I'll sum it up with both of them.
Okay.
I started an interest in voice acting when I started doing GTA 5 roleplay, which kind of then pushed me to start streaming it. I had an absolute blast in it. I now have many characters that I use a lot just because they're fun voices to do. They're fun characters to play. That then, after a while, I kind of was getting burnt out on roleplay. A friend of mine who I roleplayed with started doing Twitch things. I was like, I like singing. Why not? I also been doing metal vocals for many, many years now. So I was like, I'm gonna scare the shit out of some people. So I started doing Twitch things. Fell in love with it. I was doing it pretty much every day. I met a lot of wonderful people, Zamoody, Pashley, and now my girlfriend, who I met about a year ago, last February. And then ever since then, I was trying to get into voice acting whilst I was still living in Minnesota, which is where I come from. But it wasn't really happening just because I didn't have the proper environment to do it in. But then we decided, we want to be together. So I drove all the way over here to Pennsylvania, and I've been living with her for almost an entire year now. And she really helped encourage me to push myself to get into voice acting more, because she is an actor herself, or actress rather. She has had a number of different gigs that she's done as well. And so that really, her what's the correct word here? I don't know, but she helped push me to want to delve deeper into it. And I'm very, very, very grateful that she did, because it's been quite a journey, and I'm really glad that she helped me take that first step, because now it's started landing me roles. Even in the auditions, I still have a lot of fun. I love being an entertainer overall. So even if I don't think I'm going to get a part, I will still put my hat in the ring, just because I want someone to hear what I'm capable of. And if they get a laugh out of it, or even a chuckle or whatever, then I don't care. That's what I'm here for. I just like making people happy. So, or sad.
I think we're all a bit like that. I'd say.
Cringe.
We've all got
You
that
like
inner
making
one.
people sad too?
He also made an appearance on what used to be a vocal technique podcast. You and Brian talked about screaming and growling. So that was fun.
Yeah, that was fun. I don't get a chance to ever talk about that with anybody, because nobody cares. No. I mean, I don't know many people personally that listen to the heavier styles of music that I listen to personally.
Brian's one of them.
So, well, right. No, Brian, I know does, but it's pretty rare that I'll meet anybody that's actually into that type of stuff. Certainly nobody that would ever talk to me about screaming or harsh style vocals. So that was a fun opportunity, and I'm really glad you invited me on to do that, because
It was a blast.
Yeah, like I said, I never get to talk about it or
to start screaming. Okay.
Yeah, you'll get some nice
start screaming.
Yeah, you'll get some nice ones out of Eldurrino. And you also had the personality of the Water Messiah.
Yeah, that came from Twitch Things. That was our good friend Shoshipi at twitch.tv /
Sheepy.
Shoshipi. Her and her mod, or sorry, they and their mods came up with that name after every single duet that I did. I told people to drink their water because I was tired of seeing people drinking like soda or alcohol while they're doing their duet. And I'm like, really?
Slam your hound. That was that vodka on the table.
For those of you listening, I just gave a very sad look to Renara as she holds up a gigantic bottle of soda.
I am not healthy.
No, but after they decided to dub me with that name, I rolled with it as a joke at first, just because I was like, why not? No one would really ever take on the role of being a messiah. And then it just kind of stuck. And then I did a duet with Sheepy where we both dumped water all over ourselves. So
Pour some water on me. I still remember
quite
that.
a blast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then I wrote
Twitch
it into the
Things
cold
even
reading,
feature
right?
us in one of their videos. So
Yeah, very cool.
Yep, that's all I gotta say.
Well, Pielord, I'm sure you got way more than you expected to hear from us.
It was all pretty.
So how's your relationship going, Pielord?
Yeah. Oh, hey, now let me tell you. Hey, listen.
Wow.
Well, apparently.
No, hey, I got this. Hey, listen.
Okay.
So, hey, just yesterday, I took me and my beautiful girlfriend over to over to a drive-ins, and we watched not only Godzilla versus King Kong, but also Mortal Kombat together, and it was pretty snazzy.
How romantic on the
Drive-in. Did you make out on the back seat? Don't answer that.
Do not answer that. No.
This makes me wonder because last weekend I was going to do the exact same thing with the exact same movies. So you and I are going to have a talk after this podcast.
Well,
to see how it went, I hope.
No, because we're going to fuck.
Oh, nice.
Whoa!
Cold Read the Podcast does not condone fucking on Discord.
So glad Meg didn't hear that.
I did start this podcast by prefacing I am very sorry
Yes.
for what is about to happen. So
Hey,
yeah.
I remember I
You're
did
warned.
make that terrible pun at the beginning of this, so everybody should have remembered that everything's about to go a little weird near the end here, a little shaky, a little wavy. Hey, I did have another question,
Sure,
by
sure.
the way.
What you got?
go for it.
So I got this from when you just randomly you brought up Casting Call Club during when you were talking Zamoody, and I was thinking, hey, wait a minute, what is a big brain thing I can ask? What websites are out there? What's a good way to network all that? Because from my perspective, all I have done is it still got me pretty far. Hi guys, I'm here. But I've been in Casting Call Club and I've done just I've auditioned for like a billion free things because I'm like, I'm not gonna like charge money right now. I'm trying to network. I'm trying to get better before I try to like charge for stuff.
Right.
But is there any way else that I could go for it that anybody in the chat, wink, if they want to voice act, could go for this?
Well, we know that 90% of what's on Casting Call Club is going to be Minecraft stuff or what was it? Or gotchas, yes. So you have to find that little 10% that's in there. Personally, I keep an eye on Twitter. Twitter has a lot of activity, especially when it comes to companies that are looking for new voice actors to go into for certain parts. Voice Acting Club has its own Discord. They post a lot of free stuff, a lot of paid stuff. Keep an eye on that. That would be my recommendation. And eventually, when you're ready for it and you have a good recording space, go for voices.com. Make sure that you have a demo before you go in there, though.
Yes, yeah, that I was gonna say is you already have most of the equipment that you need. Getting a good environment would be very solid as well to reduce any background noise and whatnot. Definitely get some projects under your belt if you can. I know that from like my own personal experience, I don't really have many casted projects. I have a few, but Yeah, the next thing after that is definitely get a solid demo reel together. It's usually not recommended to make your own. I don't necessarily agree with this. If you have the audio software knowledge to make your own, I say go for it, as long as you know what you're doing in that realm. However, it may not be a bad idea to look to someone else to do it for you. It does usually involve a little bit of money behind that, but don't let that scare you off, because it will pay off if you have a really solid reel that you can put out to people. And then once you got that, yeah, definitely go for things like voices.com. With Backstage, I still have access to Backstage personally, just because I bought an entire year's subscription. But their site is more geared towards regular like stage acting or in front of camera acting. So if you're looking there for voice acting, just be aware that most of what you're going to find are student projects, most of which are unpaid. Sorry, that's my dog.
I was wondering.
So yeah, so feel free to check out other things like that. I think there's like Voices 1, 2, 3.
Yeah, that's the other one
as well. But yeah, check out the Discord as well, the Voice Acting Club Discord. They post stuff from everywhere. Any place that people post about voice acting jobs, you can definitely check that out. I use that a lot too. Hi, Meg.
I was about to say hi, Meg.
Hi, Meg.
Yeah, that's what I got for you.
Anybody else?
Brain, I had something. What I've been doing in regards to networking recently, which I think it's more for getting my stuff out there, but I think it also might be good because I know you're making your own stuff, so I can comment on that part of it as well. In that, I just started joining loads of different Discords of YouTube channels that I like or creative places, and then just sort of getting myself not known, but like introducing myself in there, and because I introduced to myself of like, hey, I do voice acting and this sort of stuff, like, hey, because most Discords have a introduction tab, so I kind of just sort of go, hey, this is me, and I'm not afraid to say I did this, I did that, and say that. And then because I've had people then approach me kind of going, oh cool, that's really awesome, what do you do? And then I'd get into a dialogue with people like that in that regard of being able to, like, because some people who are creative will do this as well as other stuff. So it's one of those things of you might find somebody who might be at the same level as you that you can then work off and then help each other in that regards of building that network. I think all of the places have been covered by the other two, really, in the sense of voices.com and all these other things. So I think if you're trying to build a network of people to surround you, I think just finding Discords filled with people that kind of share a similar interest to you gets your foot in that door of that, so that you're not having that awkward, hey, let's all share a thing about ourselves sort of moment. And you can just get into that, start talking about it, get some acting tips and things like that and whatnot, and sort of like build from there, because that might help with the confidence level stuff. I mean, you talked to me fine, even though we were both very awkward when we both started talking.
Honestly, all it took was the dog job I had.
Dog job? Remind me?
You don't remember when I worked at the doggy daycare?
Oh shoot! Yes.
Whoa.
Sorry. Let us explain this.
Ren disappeared for a second.
Pi, explain. You can explain this. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
Do you want me to? Do you want me to?
So it's up to you. We could share, half custody.
Well, I mean, I can't remember just quite how it started. All I know is I ended up talking to you, and then you said that you worked at a doggy daycare center, and then basically we just talked about, can you pet the dogs for me? That was how it.
I remember this now.
Oh god.
That's the best way to meet, to bond over dogs.
Yeah, it went as far as to like literally in one of her Discords, I can't remember which one it was, but she's like, "Hey, this guy's pretty cool. If you ask him, he'll pet the dogs for you."
Wow.
I don't remember this. I'm prefacing this, but I don't remember this. I hold no accountability for this.
I have vague memories of this.
Okay.
I feel if upon a star I can remember some of these.
But then it kind of got to the point of now we're comfortable, and then he asked me for accent training.
Oh.
Oh.
I've heard that there was an interaction in regards to trying to teach English accent. Wow. And coffee kettle ensues. All right.
Okay, let me tell you, we spent, what was it, 2-3 hours?
Yeah.
It was 2-3 hours, and all I could keep doing was either Cockney or Australian.
Nice.
He sounded
sure.
Yeah.
very much. It was very Australian. His Australian is brilliant. It just got to that point where I was trying to give like different what do you call Pashley? What do you call it when you have like different ways of ending, like extending a vowel or shortening a vowel and things like that, and different. Is it
Inflection?
maybe?
It might be inflection.
Something like that, and I just couldn't do it, and I literally kept thinking Pashley would know what to say in this conversation. Pashley would know exactly what to do in this situation, because I was just sort of like, because it was all the stuff that you were teaching, you were telling me about trying to do an American accents, Pashley, and I was trying to then sort of flip that on my head and try and do it reverse for English, and I just sort of ended up butchering it really badly. So I attempted to, but I'm
sorry.
not best at that.
Fire and Brimstone
Pashley.
in chat says, send him to me. I'll get him trained in many accents. Maybe.
Oh.
You know, honestly, that maybe means 50-50, and I'll take that chance.
Well, I mean, fire sounds like stereotypical British person, like pip pip cheerio. So,
Fire can do a lot of, not in a bad way, he can do a lot of stereotypical accents from around the world. Mainly because that's what we ended up doing when me and him actually acted in person. He could just pull out. It's probably not the most PC, but he can pull out this most perfect, stereotypical, mad German scientist.
Nice.
And it's just, it's brilliant for so many different things, but I dare say it's almost gotten us in trouble quite a few times as well. So he's good at the stereotypical accents rather than necessarily a natural accent, which is also where I struggle.
One other thing I did want to add, because I know we probably should start wrapping up
Oh,
here.
yeah.
So we still have an audition we got.
Yes, we do.
we do.
Oh, yeah.
We do.
So rejections are far from common in this industry. So you'll put out an audition, you won't hear anything back most of the time. So if you do happen to get a rejection back, or if you do happen to get cast for something after the work is done, or after you receive that rejection, send them contacts for yourself,
Yes.
whether it be email, social media, whatnot, and let them know you are available for other roles should something come up, because a lot of people, that's not the only project that they're going to work on. I know personally with a couple of mine, I've put out there, if you need me for anything else, if you have any other roles you'd like to see me in, definitely get a hold of me. I'd be more than happy to work with you. And they're like, yeah, absolutely. Like I already had you in mind for another role, or, we don't have any projects going on right now, but we'll definitely keep in touch if there is something. Shove that in their face, literally, because it will help later on down the road to secure more work for you.
Otherwise, yeah, you never know where you're going to go. The other thing I would mention for you is don't take a no as a rejection. Take it as your interpretation wasn't what the director was looking for. And it helps your perspective, in my opinion. So something to keep in mind.
It's not you, it's the product.
Yeah,
exactly.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much, Pielord. It's so nice to get to meet you. So we're gonna get to Walter. Don't hide, Walter. Come on back out. Let's talk to you.
Hey, you get back here. Don't make me drag you out here. I swear. I will come out. Well, you know what I mean. I can't say that on Twitch, can I?
No. Okay, so here's the note for the audition. Okay, so this is for a novel called The Widow's Son. It's a supernatural western. The only notes that were provided was looking for as close to Sam Elliott as possible. This is a newly released supernatural western novel. And just so we have a frame of reference, I actually pulled a Sam Elliott thing. So this is what he sounds like.
Hey kid, if you're pulling my leg,
Oh, super low.
I'm gonna eat yours.
Hold on, bring that up.
Nash, get out of your sister's bubble. Nash, get out of your sister's bubble.
And that's multiple takes, always a good thing to do. So that's the voice that I believe that the author is trying to emulate. So now this is about 2.5 minutes long. I'm going to mute myself and we're going to let the whole thing play and then we'll talk about it, okay? Here we go.
The Widow's Son, a novel by Ryan Williamson, read by W.W. Getz. You got yourself an uppity engine there, the sergeant said to Two Crows. He spat another stream of tobacco, this time squarely hitting Altahaune. The sergeant grinned. Zarahemma leaned forward in the saddle, his voice low and rumbling. Between you and me, it'd be best you men let us alone, if and you know what's healthy like. I don't take kindly to threats, the sergeant said, raising his carbine and thumbing back the trigger. Not from no redskins, and especially not from no mulatto bitch, dead or not. No threat intended. Two Crows leaned back and motioned with a large hand toward Atahaune. This man here is what Navajo call a Yin Nao Lushi. Reckon there are several more of his kind lurking round hereabouts. The sergeant looked doubtful for a moment, then laughed. Skinwalker? Skinwalkers ain't nothing but boogeymen conjured up by old squaws to frighten children. Zarahemma shrugged. There was a blur of motion behind him, and one of the troopers shouted as Atahaune slipped from under the blanket, off his horse, and, naked as a jaybird, leapt over to Two Crows' horse, ripping the coyote skin free from the bundle as he passed. He pulled the skin round his shoulders as he circled around the large horse in a low, crouching sprint. Thick, spiny hair sprouted down the length of his back and over his shoulders as his face elongated into a snarling muzzle full of razor-sharp fangs. Dagnabbit! Zarahemma cursed, drawing two massive nickel-plated revolvers. He swung in the saddle to try to get a bead on his prisoner. The sergeant froze in horror as the monster Atahaune was transforming into pounced. Man and beast tumbled off the horse and into the dusty ground in a spray of blood and viscera.
All right, that's it.
I liked that. I really liked that.
Yeah,
I mean, I could
thought
only
the voice is really good.
It's
I could
pretty
only
thick,
pick
pretty
two things.
snazzy.
I could only really pick two things that I would that stuck out to me is that I mean, it's mostly just audio quality. I think it is a blaringly obvious one, I think. And then second one is that peaking in later, like further later on down when he raised his voice and you could hear the flattening of that peaking. And I think that is what might, I mean, yeah, I think it's nothing to do, personally, I don't think it's to do with the performance. I think the performance was really nice and I really enjoyed your voice, Walter, because it's quite soothing and it's easy to follow because some voices with during narration can be hard to listen to for long periods of time, but yours was really nice and smooth and was similar enough to what we heard previously that it personally, I think it fit, if you know what I mean. I think it was simply because the audio quality sounded so muffled and not as crisp that it detracted from your performance. All we could hear is that sort of muffled nature. And after a while, I think you could get past it. But if people are if they're looking for really good audio quality, because I think that's one thing we talked about in that it's the first thing people hear. I think I had a rest of that sentence went somewhere.
Ran away from you.
Marking this for next intro for me. Good.
But I think that was to sum that up, I think it's mainly just the audio quality that is the blaring issue rather than your actual performance, in my opinion.
Love it.
I would say the voice was spot on. I thought it was very, very close to Sam Elliott, and I think it's very solid. I have two little tweaks that I think could really help liven it up a little bit. One, during the narration portions, not necessarily when you are speaking lines for another character, but when you were just talking about what is happening in the scene, slow it down a little bit, just a hair.
I've noticed that.
I got that.
It was kind of, just kind of rambling through it. Not rambling because you could still understand it, but it was pretty fast. I feel like in a narration setting, you want it to be a little bit slower so that the listener has time to process what is happening. The other thing I wanted to say as well is during longer sentences, it's difficult because you do want to try and fit a longer sentence that doesn't have any breaks all in one breath. Do your best to breathe, take a large breath before you're going to deliver that line. This will also help with you'll notice that when you are speaking a long sentence, you'll start going monotone towards the end of it because you're trying to just get it out. You're running out of breath. So you're not going to add that same variance that you would have normally at the beginning of that sentence. So take a deeper breath and just, I don't know, it's more about breath control, which we never really got a chance to talk about during this, but once you can learn to control your breath, you can start to keep that variance going into those longer sentences. And then that way you won't feel so rushed towards the end of it. And the rest of the sentence will still have a nice variation to it to keep the listener interested in what you're saying.
Yep. Any notes, Pash?
No, I was going to just say maybe the pacing was a place of improvement. I mean, I don't know what steps can be taken to remediate the audio, but I think, just kind of looking at the lines and pacing out where you want to stress, those things really, really help with that. But I want to say I really, really love the quality of your voice, and it's beautiful.
Yeah, I agree.
So I don't know if you've got your mic muffled. That's what I was picking up a lot. So something to think about is if you've got something covering the mic, maybe it's a little too much. So consider that. If not, the room treatment obviously needs a little improvement, or find somewhere else, like Pashley said, in the closet, or somewhere where you can close yourself up with stuff around you. Don't be afraid of putting stuff when you're recording. Even like a blanket over you can sometimes help you, just as long as it's not hitting the mic and causing that friction. That'll open that up just a little bit more. I make sure to talk clearly, even with the accent. That goes with Eldurrino's. The pacing a bit, I think, was a little too fast in some parts. I like what Pashley said. And yeah, don't be afraid to breathe. If you need to learn where to take a pause, just make sure that it's within the character, within the part. So don't be afraid. I have a sound booth, but I talk slightly off center to reduce sibilance. I've been learning is not the thing to do. No, for the most part, unless you're yelling. When you're yelling, it's for the most part when you want to do this. Because if I start yelling, it won't be so bad. Because if I was to do it straight on into the mic, I would peak like crazy. Even in this mic.
And it all depends on what microphone you have too. Like I generally do that as a rule of thumb, just because like the way my mouth is shaped, S's and P's and whatnot come out a lot harder. And therefore I need to correct myself to make sure that plosives aren't a problem. But I don't know what kind of setup as far as microphone goes you have, Walter. But if you do have something, if you have like a little covering for your mic as opposed to like a pop filter like this, I would maybe try taking that off for the time being and see how it sounds instead. That way you can get a nice clearer tone. Because definitely it sounded like there was a bit of muffling in there. I didn't hear a lot of like reverberation, as if you were surrounded by a bunch of solid walls. The one thing I noticed was just the muffling.
Yeah. So that may come with the treatment itself. All in all, it's a great performance. I hope that you go forward in the part. If not, don't get discouraged. Now, my understanding, this is for ACX, Walter. I know for the most part, when it comes to I mean, if that works for you, by all means, go for it. Those are great places because they're like unlimited auditions. So keep at it. Very, very cool. Ren, I know you had an audition. We're gonna have to leave that for next time.
Don't have to. Yeah, it's fine.
Yeah.
That's fine.
So, for the most part, I think we're just gonna go ahead and start wrapping things up today. We'll talk about my Fiverr thing next week, so maybe we'll do negative experiences or something to that effect. We can all bring something to the table. So to be continued on that one. Very, very interesting conversations were had. But yeah, I think we've met somebody new. We brought in Grimm. That was awesome to have you. Ren, I'm sorry that you had a hard week.
Great to be back.
Yeah.
Fine.
We're happy to have you. It was awesome. I hope this was a positive experience for you. You feel just a tad bit better laughing with us.
I feel like it's my fault that a lot of this chaos happened because I was like, oh god, we run over. Oh god, I've been.
Oh yeah, listen. I'm here, and that is why. Okay.
Indeed.
Okay.
That works for me.
I don't know. I'm very used to taking the blame for everything, so I'll take the blame for this one.
Not for this one. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
I was holding you at pan point the whole time.
Oh my god.
We look forward to Dorino's intro and who he's going to highlight, because I know that's Dorino's thing. This is
Spoiler, it's Renara.
Oh, nice.
Oh,
Spoilers for Renara. All right. Don't go too hard on Renara. She's had a hard week, so.
It's fine. It's okay. You use it to your advantage.
Pashley, we appreciate the intro, and we'll have something good for Pashley's Castle next time.
Oh boy, yes.
Oh yes. And maybe we'll get the prince to record something for us. That would be awesome.
He's awesome.
Yeah. Fire and Brimstone says, "Praise the Hawk." Ladies and gentlemen, if you have a topic that you'd like us to talk about or an audition like we just did with Laltert for us to listen to, ColdReadthePodcast at gmail.com. Again, ColdReadthePodcast at gmail.com. We can also ask any questions to any of us that are here or any of our network. We have a good support network. We will find you the answer. Yeah. Sorry.
Don't worry, Grimm just died and came back, so it's fine.
Yeah, I my thing crashed and I'm back again.
No.
Welcome back.
Yep. Hello.
Try then.
Right as ends.
Well, again, thank you so much, everybody, for appreciate you being here, either if you were here live or if not on YouTube or listening to us wherever you get your podcast. Thank you again, ladies and gentlemen. Keep those auditions going. Keep your dream alive. Don't be afraid. Even if you get told no, keep going. Put them all in there.
Have fun and make more stuff.
Yes, please.
Yeah. Remember, you're snazzy, no matter what they tell you.
And until next time, that's a cut. Thank you, everybody. Bye.
Bye. Bye.
Bye.